My friend is trying to clone my business. This is more of a rant venting session than looking for real advice, though I'm open to it if you've got it. I'm a professional blacksmith and knife maker. I've been working at my craft for 15 years and been doing it full-time for 3 years. I've managed to carve out a very successful business in my area and I'm reaping some pretty hefty profit. Life is good. I'm very supportive of my friends and have coached a number of them into better jobs and/or starting side businesses. I like to help people. One of my oldest friend was suffering from a string of bad employers and wanted out of the rat race. I encouraged his many artistic skills, mostly woodworking. Gave him reading lists. Shared my accounting practices. And even gave him a walkthrough of my many processes in knife making to help him think about his own process. Well, a few months ago, he quit his job, moved back to our hometown 90 minutes from me, set up a workshop and started making knives and branding himself as a blacksmith. Mostly kitchen knives. I do more utility camp EDC stuff, but recently he started doing outdoor knives too. Now there are other knife makers in my area, but we operate in different markets and niches. My friend is using my business model and is targeting the same demographic. With all that said, I'm not particularly threatened by this in its current form. The quality is not comparable and his skills are significantly underdeveloped compared to what I can do. But his actions are setting us on an unpleasant collision course. Right now he's staying very local at small events, but eventually we're going to be at the same event selling the same-ish product to the same people, and it's going to dilute sales for us both. The whole situation is very aggravating, especially when I was so open with my practices in the early days when I thought he was doing something different. I basically enabled him to speedrun the hundreds of little lessons that took me from amateur to professional. And now I have to spend mental energy trying to mitigate his expansion into my market share. Anyways, rant over. Lesson learned: be cautious of who you let in. Focus on yourself and your business. The things you can control. Have you had a discussion with him about this? No one seems to have asked about this. But I think a talk could really help you know where your friend stands and what his intentions are. I like to help people. Mission accomplished. Man, this line: I've managed to carve out a very successful business in my area and I'm reaping some pretty hefty profit. Okay, sign. This is going to happen to any successful company. Usually a good employee does it, but in your case it's a friend. Embrace the competition. It'll push you to new heights. I do fences and in 10 years I've had 3 employees start their own business. Only one has actually made it and is doing great. He actually has helped me out too, although I'm on a different level. Your old friend stinks. Who does that? Go in and compete hard. Put him back in his place by highlighting your expertise and experience in your marketing. Gun it with high-end products and your social media presence. Oh, and never share your practices again. Think of this as a rocket up the arse to take your business and expertise to the next level. Even with basically handing him a blueprint on how to start and run a biz in your field, doesn't mean he has the wherewithal to actually directly compete with you. Let's see how things go a year from now. Also, if you're concerned with the competition, maybe it's time to up your game. Raise your prices and double down on quality. Capture the high end of the local market and let you clean up the lower end. If you are ever asked, make sure to make it clear that the two of you are friends, and when he Started out, he came to you for help getting started. Naval Ravikant says find the things that to you feel like play and be the best at the world at it. This is in part because if you're focused on your best thing, you won't distract yourself with competition and drama. Stop worrying about the copying. Consider it flattery. Focus on being the best business owner you can be. Take it as a compliment. Think about the best actors in the world. Someone comes to them and asks them to do something that is wrong place, wrong time, wrong role, wrong price. What do? One way to be magnanimous is to recommend an alternative. Call the guy. Say you want to understand what he does and how you are differentiated so you can recommend him when he's a better fit. You want to understand his price points and differentiation. Make it to his advantage to figure out that differentiation. No, just an idea. Sounds like you also could have a business coaching business. Don't help every dog you see that is starving. Some just need enough strength to bite you. I would be frustrated by the number of people saying, "Why are you bothered?" It's not like an apprentice who has worked with you for years to move on. It would be frustrating to have someone just copy your business type. But it is a free world. People can set up whatever they want and you have to compete on your skills alone. So try to forget and just focus on being good. What I learned. Do not talk about your profitable core business to anyone. It will add unnecessary risks for more competition. Make up a lie if you need to explain why you drive a Lambo. I'm failing to see the issue. You helped someone. That's a good thing. There are a lot of people who make knives and a lot of places for customers to buy knives. Really unnecessary to be threatened, IMO. Have you talked to them about it? If they're new to business entrepreneurship, they literally might not understand the collision course. You could even offer to keep mentoring them under some kind of agreement. If you two can coordinate around your chosen niches, demographics, etc., and co-market each other's products in those gaps, you go from a headache to another sales outlet at these markets you cannot attend. You also save good money on market stall space if you work together when you do collide at a market. The knife industry is very small. The biggest supporters of other makers are fellow makers. The public customer, target demographic changes like the tide. I'd go out on a limb and say that your customers own many other brands makes of knives. Unless there's a deeper seeded issue. I'd see it as an opportunity to split table fees and other costs of doing business. My dad is into the knives that you make, very nice by the way. What you do is a nice market and the buyers are into learning about the knives just as much as they are about using them. Your friend isn't your competitor because your market won't be interested in his and his market probably can't afford yours. I've asked myself several times in business this question: is it worth the relationship? I truly sympathize with you. This happened to me but with my own cousin. He started posting the same items I make online, completely different field than yours. I called him out. He took it down, kept his store going and now selling other things but copied my whole business model. Relationship has been broken since. I'll never trust him again. You guys make knives, right? He's a threat, right? Problem solved. These bros ain't loyal, man. I think the issue is how he's copying the business as if it was his idea. It would have been received better if he acknowledged that he implemented some of your ideas and embraced your company instead of competing. One thing I would say is don't get into a price war. You clearly have more skills and can produce higher quality. Your marketing materials should allude to that. He can't make the same claims.